This has been difficult. Now, what am I saying? Well, what I'm saying is it has been very difficult for me to get this thing to work. What I want to do today is provide you with a step by step free framework and presentation that will enable you to connect with your customers and clients more deeply and enable you to sell more of what you have. This is probably going to be the most in-depth training that I've ever done on Facebook. So if you have some time, I want you to spend the next about 15 to 20 minutes with me. And I guarantee you that this is probably the most advanced, most in-depth piece of storytelling content that you have ever gathered for free on the internet. So without further ado, I'm not going to waste any of your time. This is going to be like hardcore shit. Excuse my French. Hello, Jody. Nice to see you. So let's jump right into this. So I just developed a new framework that I want to share with you all today. And this is what I call my story matrix. And what this is this step-by-step guide to creating a story that your customers, clients, your audience absolutely rave over. Now, here's the thing. The goal with a story, there's a bunch of goals. But the number one goal whenever you're sharing a story is this. You want the audience to feel understood, because we will only be influenced and persuaded by and only buy from people who we feel understand where we are. Would you all agree with that? You wouldn't buy something from someone that you feel like has no connection to you, no relatability. You only buy from people that understand you. Now, here's the thing. You are perfectly positioned to help the person you used to be. So everything that we talk about here tonight, this is the premise. This is the foundation of everything. Now, there's a lot of coaches, speakers, those type of folks who hang around my profile. Chances are that you are helping a person that you used to be. You're helping the younger version of you. So everything that we share here today, I want you to take it with that frame, that you are perfectly positioned to help the person you used to be. So we're about to go into some really deep stuff here, but I need you to understand that you're going to ask yourself as I go through this, well, how am I going to know this or how am I going to know that? You're going to know that by going back to the pain that you once felt. You're going to know that by going back to the thoughts, the obstacles that you once went through and the feelings that you once felt. So let's dive into the storytelling or the story matrix. Now, there's a lot of stuff on here, and I apologize for this. I tried to, on my PowerPoint slides, make them all come up one by one, but I can't do it with this software I'm using, so please forgive me. There's a lot of stuff on here. We're going to break it down one by one. So the story matrix is comprised of 4 main parts. Okay? There's 4 main parts. And remember, everything that I'm sharing with you right now is how you share a story that the audience feels so connected to that you are the only obvious solution for what it is that they have. So I just went with some clients this past week over this, and they were mind blown. So here's what I want you to do. Whenever you're thinking about your audience, there's 4 main things that you need to think about. Where we're going to start is getting super clear on the obstacles that our audience is facing. Now, when you think of obstacle, what I want you to think of is what are the hurdles that are in their way that is stopping them from getting to where they want to be. So think of them as physical roadblocks, obstacles that are in their way, at least in their mind, that they think and believe are stopping them from getting them to where they want to be. For example, for the longest time, I believed, man, my 9-to-5 job that I hate, that's one of the obstacles that's getting in my way. Another obstacle could be, well, there's so many gurus to listen to that I don't even know who to listen to anymore. Well, what's another obstacle? What's another barrier that a lot of people say gets in their way? They have a negative environment. Well, what's another obstacle that gets in the way of people's success? Their own mindset. What's another? Lack of funds, etc. So what you have to begin to do if you really want to connect genuinely and authentically with your audience is get super clear on the obstacles that they are currently facing. What are the roadblocks that are keeping them from getting to where they want to be? How do I get there? How do I know what their obstacles are? you are perfectly positioned to help the person that you used to be. You see how this is all the foundation? This is the premise of this. Are you guys getting this? Let me know in the chat, please, if you are. So what I would do if I were you is I would literally draw this T-chart and put obstacles at the top left and underline it. Now, as you see there, it says the cause. The obstacle is the barrier that is causing them to not get to where they want to be. Now, here's the thing. For every cause, there is an effect. And the effect is the struggle. So think of it this way, right? I have a 9-to-5 job that I hate. And what is the struggle that causes? Well, the struggle that I feel is I resent my job and I feel like I have no time. The obstacle or the cause, there's so many gurus to listen to. What is the effect of that? I'm overwhelmed and confused. Obstacle, a negative environment. What is the effect of a negative environment? I can't find anyone to support me. Obstacle, my own mindset. Struggle, how does it show up? I constantly doubt myself. Obstacle, let's just say I have a lack of funds. What's the effect? I feel stuck because I never have any cash. Are you guys getting this? Now you're saying, Devin, tell me about the story. I want to know about the storytelling piece. You can never tell a story until you know your audience better than they know themselves. So what you have to get crystal clear on are what are the obstacles and the struggles that my audience are currently facing. And remember, the obstacle is the cause. That is the roadblock. The struggle is how that roadblock shows up. I have a 9-to-5 job I hate. What do I struggle with? I hate my job and I have no time. Okay, now we go into the two that are really the most important. There's a question I want to ask you, and I just wrote this down yesterday. Let me read this out to you. What we're going to go now is we're going to think about the thoughts that they think. Sorry about that. So now we got to define what are the thoughts that my audience are currently thinking. But what we have to do is we have to define those thoughts, not in just, oh, they think this or they think that. No, we define them in phrases. And you're going to see how we tie all of this back together. So here's a question that I need you to think about when you're thinking about what are the thoughts that they're thinking. That was a whole lot of thinking. So how I want you to think about is this. When your audience or that particular person that you want to serve, when they're in bed at night, they just had this long and exhausting day and they're just shot. And they're laying there and they can't fall asleep because their just mind is racing. What are the thoughts that they are currently having? Now, here's the thing. Those obstacles and struggles are causing those thoughts. Are you guys getting how all of this is coming together? But the key point here, you have to write down their thoughts in phrases. One thought that they might have is, how am I ever going to find the time? And here's the thing. These aren't phrases that they're saying out loud. These are the things that your audience members or your client, your ideal avatar, is saying to themselves in bed, but they would never dare say to anybody out loud. These are the thoughts in the dungeon of the mind when you lay down and it's just you and you. Those dark thoughts. These are the thoughts that I'm talking about. So what are some of those thoughts? Well, how am I ever going to find the time? I have this 9-to-5 job I hate. I just hate my job so much. How am I ever going to find the time? Okay, now what we're doing is we're just talking about the first struggle, right? The first struggle and first obstacle. A 9-to-5 job I hate. We're not talking about any of the other obstacles and struggles. So another thought that I might have based on the I have a 9-to-5 job I hate obstacle is, oh no, tomorrow I have another day of this BS. Another thought might be, why can they all, meaning everybody else I see on the internet, why can they all live their dream, but I'm stuck in a job that I hate? Remember, this is what your ideal avatar is saying to themselves in their head. They might also say, how much longer can I deal with this? Maybe some of you have said this to yourself. Now, why is this even important? It has to be in phrases. Why? Why are we doing all of this? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. The last thing we get clear on are their feelings. How do those thoughts make them feel? And how we define it is in single words, such as it makes it feel hopeless, frustrated, and angry. And that's just for the 9 to 5 job that I hate. So if I was talking about I have so many gurus to listen to, well, then the struggle would be I'm overwhelmed and confused. What would some of the thoughts be? Oh my God, I have all of this information, but what am I going to do with it? Which person am I going to listen to? I feel so overwhelmed, I don't even know where to begin. And how does that make me feel? It makes me feel overwhelmed, frustrated, and confused. Excuse me. Is anybody still here with me? Let me know in the chat. Because now I'm going to tell you why we're doing this, why this is so important. I'm telling you, if you incorporate this, this will change everything for you. You will literally have people bending over backwards for you, saying, oh my God, how did you know that about me? Isn't that what we all want? To get to the point where we can be the trusted advisor who guides people to their destination. Now, here's the thing. I could easily charge my rate, which is $2,000 an hour, but I would rather give you this information for free so that you can incorporate this in your business. Now, here's the thing. I just checked my stats. I have a free course if anybody wants it. Here's the reality. 1% of people have even opened the course. So I know not many people are going to do anything with this information, but that's okay. So we get clear on their obstacles, which is the roadblock that is stopping them. Once we're clear on the obstacle, we get clear on the struggle. What does the obstacle cause them to X? I have a 9 to 5 job that I hate. How does it show up? Well, it shows up, I resent my job and I have no time. Obstacle, the cause, the struggle, the effect. Then we go into the thoughts. So how does all of this make them think? Well, for the I have a 9 to 5 job that I hate, it makes them think when they lay in bed at night and they can't fall asleep because their mind is racing. It makes them think, how am I ever going to find the time? And how does this make them feel? It makes them feel hopeless, frustrated, and angry. And once again, how do we get this information? You are perfectly positioned to help the person you used to be. So you find the answers to this by reflecting back on who you used to be. But also, hey, you want to know something crazy, guys? You can actually talk to your ideal avatar and get them to tell you the answer. What's better than that, right? So if you're here and you're with me, let me know in the comments you're with me, because now I'm going to tell you how to pull this all together, and I'm going to give you a live demonstration of this. Okay? So let me know if you're here with me. I want to know I'm not talking to myself. Even if I am, that's okay too. I don't really care. I love my voice. Anybody out there? Okay. Jennifer is here. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Marty, hello. Man, it's good to see all of you in here. Okay, so now let's tie all of this together, shall we? So here's what we do. This is like some Jedi Ninja Warrior stuff that nobody's telling you. So here's what we do. Our job is to reflect back to them, meaning the audience, their obstacles, struggles, thoughts, and feelings. In other words, when we're clear on their obstacles, their struggles, their thoughts, and their feelings, our job, look, wait, I got to come off the screen for this one. Okay. Our job, my hair looking crazy, is to verbalize the stuff that they internalize. Somebody put that in the chat. Verbalize what they internalize. In other words, what we do is once we get super clear on their obstacles, struggles, thoughts, and feelings, we craft stories that reflect back to them where they are right now. So they feel like, how did Jody know that? How How did she know what I feel in my heart? My own husband doesn't even know that. My wife doesn't even know that. So I don't care if you leave with nothing else. We verbalize what they internalize. What's on it? What did I have on here? Okay. And the thoughts and the feelings are the big ones. Okay. So the thoughts and the feelings are the things that we absolutely have to reflect back to them. I'm gonna show you how to do this in a minute. I'll do a live demonstration. You guys are awesome interacting with me. Thank you. Appreciate you. But here's the thing. We might not have the same exact struggles and obstacles as our ideal clients. So we might not be able to reflect that back directly. And here's something I oftentimes say. Our experiences are unique to us, but the lessons that they teach are universal for all. But you also know what are universal? What else is universal? The thoughts and feelings that we have. We all think the same thoughts and feelings. They just show up in different ways. So now I want to demonstrate to you, and we'll come back to this slide, how we put this all together. And what I want to do is I'm going to tell a story. I'm just going to I'm like a freestyle storyteller. You know how there's like freestyle rappers? I'm a freestyle storyteller. So I want you guys to choose which of the 5 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, which one of those 5 obstacles do you want me to share a story around? Just someone choose one and put it in the chat, and I'm just going to tell you a story based off of that. So please, I'm going to wait a minute, take a sip of water, and then we're going to tie this all together with a live demonstration of it. Whoever's the first one, I'll just choose whatever the first one that anybody puts out. Guys, I've been feeling a little sick. Great, a negative environment. Jennifer says a negative environment. Terrific. So how many of you in the audience have ever felt like you were able to achieve more than what you're currently achieving? Like for a lot of you in the audience, I know that you're capable of having that dream body of yours. Jody, right? I'm talking as if I'm you. But here's the thing. I'm on this stage right now, or I'm on this live right now talking with you, but it wasn't always that way. And me being the health coach that I am, helping my clients get in the best shape of their life, it wasn't always this way. You know, I remember a time in my life where there was nothing more than that I wanted than to be in the best shape. But for a variety of reasons, I just felt stuck. I'll never forget it. It felt like no matter where I went in my house, I couldn't escape that environment. I had people around me who just had a negative lifestyle when it came to their food. Their relationship with food was terrible. It became their emotional crutch. And you know what? Before long, it became my emotional crutch. And as I tried to change, see, how many of you know that unless your environment is an environment of change, you can't change? Jim Rohn said it best. He said that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around. And my 5 people were not people that supported me in the pursuit of my goals. See, they said they supported me, but their actions said differently. How many of you ever felt like that? Like you were in a position where people said that they supported you, but their actions actually said different. And it just got to a place where I would just lay in bed and I would say to myself, how am I ever going to do this? I have such a big dream, but I have nobody to support me. How much longer can I deal with this? And as I would lay there in bed, it would just make me feel hopeless and doubtful. And if I'm being quite honest with you, it actually made me kind of resent the people that I surrounded myself with. Okay, time out. You see what we did there? We took the obstacles, struggles, thoughts, and feelings that the audience has, And I just found an experience in my life that was a fictitious one, not real. And I reflected it back to them. Now, I'll give you one personal one. Lack of funds. Okay. Personal, true story. Back when I was 21 years old, 22 years old, there was nothing more in this world that I wanted than to become a big time motivational speaker. See, any of you ever have any really big goals, but you didn't know how to achieve them? Anybody in here? That was me. But one thing that I did know was that I had a dream mentor of mine, and his name was Les Brown. And he was my childhood hero. Now, what I didn't tell you was that I was bullied for 6 years of my life, and I was in a very dark place. I would come home every single day and cry in my pillow and just say, God, why are you putting me through this? But there was one person that helped me through those times without even knowing it, and that was Les Brown. Well, in 2021, I had an opportunity. You see, I heard Les Brown talking about a new coaching program that he was offering. And he was on Clubhouse talking about, I'm going to help you share your story, and I'm going to help you get out there, and I'm going to do all of these things. And then he got to the price. And he said, I'm going to do all of this for just $297 a month. I had just bought a new house, a new car. I just got a job for the first time. And I was in over $10,000 of debt. I had no money. Have you ever been at that place where you wanted to do something so badly, but you just didn't have the funds to do it? That's exactly where I was. So what did I do? I called up my dad. I said, Dad, you know Les Brown? He said, of course I know Les Brown, son. He's offering this coaching program. He's telling me he's going to teach me how to share my story and to get on stages and do all. He said, great, do it. I said, Dad, there's one problem. He said, what is it, son? I said, Dad, it's too much money. He said, you need me to lend you the money? I said, no, sir, I don't. He said, Devin, figure it out. So what did I do next? I took out my credit card that I got when I was 17 years old that has 30% interest on it. I held it out in front of me and I looked at it. And all I could think was two things. Number one, I feel so stuck because I just don't have any cash. I want to do this, but I don't have the money. But then I asked myself a more empowering question. See, here's the thing. The quality of life that we have is dependent upon the quality of questions that we ask ourselves. So I asked myself the question. I said, Devin, are your goals and your dreams worth it? And I sat there. I said, yeah, they are. And I put $297 a month that I was scared shitless to put on that card to invest in this program. And all I could think when I did that was, how am I going to make this work? How will I ever pay this off? Is this even worth it? And I really just felt so unsure. And I felt like, did I even make the right decision? And honestly, I felt afraid. Have any of you ever made a big decision and felt afraid? Like you had that knot in the pit of your stomach that just wouldn't leave you? That's exactly where I was. Time out. Are you guys seeing this? Are you guys seeing this? Is this making sense? I'm literally reflecting back to the audience through my stories exactly where they are right now. Exactly where they are right now. So now the audience is thinking, oh my God, how did you know that I'm thinking that I'm feeling that I have these obstacles and that I have these struggles? Now here's what you all don't know. That I was conditioning the audience's mind the entire time. Marty says I'm in the flow state, man. I appreciate that. I get passionate when I'm in my groove. So I appreciate you being here, Marty. I really do. We're about to wrap up in less than 5 minutes. Here's what you did not know. I was conditioning the audience the whole time. See, here's the thing that we have to do. Our presentation starts with this, the end. It starts with the end. We don't start with the title slide. We start with the end. The end is this. What do I want them to do? Let me come back to you. What do you want the audience to do? Because if they don't do anything as a result of listening to you, your words were a complete and utter waste. Now, what does that do? That could be buy a product or service from you. It could be to set new goals, whatever you predetermine that goal to be. But here's the thing, and this is the subject of a whole other video. When your audience comes to you, they have an identity. An identity is the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes that a person has towards themselves. And the identity that brought them there is not the identity that is going to get them to take action on what you want them to take action on. So what we have to begin to do in our presentations is say, how can I help somebody shift their identity without them understanding that it's happening, so that when I ask them to take action, they do it? This is how you eliminate objections before they even become objections. So how did I do that in that story that I just shared with you? Number one, I reflected back to them their internal dialogue. And when I reflect back to them their internal dialogue, guess what they're saying? Oh my God, this guy understands me. So now I really have to lean in and listen. Number two, I gave them instructions. I'm conditioning their mind. Notice what I did. I said, it was a lot of money. Well, guess what I'm going to ask my audience to do? When I tell them my program's $10,000, what are they going to think? That's a lot of money. So not only do I reflect back to them their current internal dialogue, oh, this is good. I reflect back to them their future internal dialogue. And I'm conditioning the audience on how to respond when they have that dialogue. This is too much. I'm going too far. But I'm going to keep going because I got 2 more minutes. It's a lot of money. That's what they're going to think when they hear $10,000. But notice what I did. And I sat there and I took my credit card out. Now, if I'm on a live stage or on a webinar or something, I actually take it out. And one thing that I could say is this. I want all of you to do it with me. Take out your credit card. Hold it out in front of you. I want you to imagine this as if you were me. Devin, are your goals and dreams worth it? So what did I just train the audience to do? Oh, this is so good. I just trained the audience that when they're presented with an opportunity that costs a lot of money, that they are going to ask themselves, are my goals and dreams worth it? But I didn't have to tell them, this is what you're going to do. All I did was tell my story. This is what we call subconscious storytelling. You can't read this in a book, folks. This is what we call connecting with your audience on an authentic and genuine level. And we can go for at least another 5 hours just on this. But I'm not going to. If there are any of you still watching this right now, you're probably pretty serious about this. And if you want to take this a step further, reach out to me because it's the end of May and I'm doing something very special. My prices have already tripled in the past 30 days. And I'm actually I'm offering a ridiculously low price on what I'm offering. So anyways, listen, I don't care if you ever pay me $1 because I'm going to give you my very best all of the time, regardless. But if you want to actually implement this stuff and see results, just shoot me a message and we can get on a call and see what that would look like for you. I also have a free course. If you're like, Devin, I don't want to spend no money, no problem. I'll give you a free course. But this today, I hope this really served you and maybe provided you with a little bit of clarity And maybe you had as much fun listening to me as I had delivering this to you. So, Marty, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, my friend. Jody, thank you. Jennifer, thank you. Facebook. All that I hope from this video is that somebody does something with this information, because it's changed my life. And I genuinely believe that if you implement the things that we're talking about here, it could change yours as well. My heart feels really heavy right now, but in a good way, because I know that there's somebody out there that's waiting to hear from you. And the longer you wait, the longer they suffer. No more.